This is the ramblings of an Undisciplined Mind podcast for Wednesday, April 6th, 2016. As of this recording, Sierra is still missing. It is wet and rainy. It looks like it's going to be rainy for like the next 2 or 3 days, and then Saturday comes and it's rain / snow / high of 30s. This is why I tend not to like spring here in Michigan, because it's just wet. And it's, and then we're kind of having a weird spring because the temperatures are kind of cold. You can tell because I'm still wearing my winter coat. And well, those of you on the video, if you're on the audio, you take my word for it. I'm still wearing my winter coat. So it's just like, please warm up. It's just rather annoying. So what I thought I'd talk about today, for work, I do not have a company cell phone. And it'd be nice to have an easy way to be able to access work email without using my laptop. I do have a laptop, but it takes that time. You gotta boot up, and if I'm at home, I gotta wait for it to boot up, and then I gotta connect to the VPN, and then I can open my email, and I gotta wait for it to sync, and it's just kind of a pain. And we had this app that we would use. It was at least an Android app, and I don't remember exactly what it was called, but it was basically like going to what we call OWA, Outlook Web Access. Basically, get to Outlook through a web page. We could, because our company provides an OA link to be able to get from any browser. It's kind of cumbersome on the phone browser. But this app basically presented you with the same thing, but it would save your password and your user ID, so you didn't have to type it in all the time. You just open up that app and it would give you the OA interface, but it automatically logged you in. Quite nice. It was definitely a lot faster. Well, that app went away, and it is no more. And so I was asking this guy, because there was this guy at work who actually pinged me on or told me about that app back in the day, several years ago. And so I was talking to him yesterday, I guess it was yesterday. And I says, did you ever find a replacement for that? Because recent events at work have, it's been nice to be able to check my email maybe at different times of the day where I don't have my laptop out, or on weekends where I'm not going to get my laptop out. So just be able to check real quick and say, oh, did I get an email about something failing or something along those lines? He's like, yeah, I got this app. It's really nice, but it's a weird name. And he went looking for me and found it, and it's called TypeApp. TYPEAPP. And I gotta tell you, if I was looking for an email client, even if this popped up with that naming, I probably wouldn't get it. I wouldn't think about it. Even with the icon, it kind of has a part of it that's reminiscent of an envelope, but if you aren't really paying attention, you're not sure what it is. Nothing screams at me, email! But it's quite nice. It connects up. So we're connecting to Exchange. The problem is I could always hook my phone officially to the email servers, but then the company reserves the right to wipe the phone at any time if they feel it needs it, for security purposes, whatever. And I don't necessarily want them hooked in quite that tight to my phone. So actually, basically put it on the network. And as I say, this is my personal phone. I don't really want that, but this thing will log into the Exchange server. All I had to do is give it my email address and my user ID and my password. and then it gives me a very nice interface. It's kind of, I have 2 other email apps on my phone right now, and one of them is just the generic email app that comes with Android. I'm actually using that for my Walsh email for college, and then I've got the Gmail app that I use for most everything else. And this thing's kind of a combination between those 2. It is like the email app that you can just set up any accounts, and you can very easily have multiple accounts and just toggle between them very simply. But it also has the conversation. You know how Gmail will lump emails together by a conversation and put them all together. So instead of seeing 50 emails that are all about one conversation, you see one line on your email for that conversation. This does the same thing. It did kind of annoy me because it had the most recent, I think it was the last. It was the opposite of Gmail. I think the Gmail shows most recent last. So of the ones you haven't read, the oldest is top and most recent is the bottom. And this was doing the opposite. But it was also, I very quickly found the option to change that sorting. Beyond that, it's got all the normal email kind of things. You can also sync contacts, and you can sync tasks and calendars and all that. I'm not bothering with that. I don't know. I should look and see if it's got its own calendar, or if it's using the Android calendar. Because I wouldn't mind access to my work calendar. How's it looking at that? Something else to look at with this thing. I know it could do it, and I just kind of by default unchecked it. No, I don't need calendar. I just need email. And you can do all the normal things as far as how often is it gonna try to sync, how much is it gonna sync, how do you want to get notified, things of that nature. But probably the nicest feature about it is quiet time. You can define quiet time on this thing. So you can define it as you can have quiet days, which means just don't bother me at all with any notifications. And that's Saturday and Sunday. And then you can also define, okay, here's when I want to be notified. And so I can set up a time. So I set up my normal work hours, 8 to 5. Give me notifications. And it's worked really well for, I've had it now for a little over 24 hours. But I mean, once it hit 5 o'clock, I stopped getting notifications on email. I even checked email once or twice last night after 5 when I got home. To say, okay, had I gotten anything new? Because I hadn't gotten any notifications, and I had, and it didn't tell me. But then during the business day, it's funny because sometimes my phone will beep telling me I've got an email before my Outlook on my laptop tells me. So so I'll hear that beep, and then I'll I'll go to Outlook, and usually by the time I've moved to that window, if I'm not on it, there's the email. So I got no complaints with timing on it. It works quite well. I really haven't delved too deeply into the bells and whistles. It does, I know it handles multiple accounts. I've only got the one account set up on it. I do kind of like having stuff segregated by app. That's actually kind of nice. It brings some clarity. I'm probably going to do that with my Pensinger email. Once I'm done with college, I think the email app there will get freed up, because I'm not gonna necessarily utilize that for that email address, and then I can maybe use that for the Pensinger stuff. But yeah, it's pretty nice. So TypeApp, TYPEAPP. It's on the Android store. It might be out there for iPhone. I have no idea. But if you're looking for a new mail client that's pretty flexible and can do a lot of different types of mail, when you go to add an account, you've got Exchange, and you've you've got Gmail, and Yahoo, and Hotmail, and just doing a straight pop mail off of something. There's a lot of different options there to kind of walk you through it, make it really easy. And so yeah, I'd say give it a try. TypeApp. But like I said, that'll be it for today. I will be back tomorrow in some way, shape, or form, and I'll be talking to you then. So, be seeing you.